Hi there, welcome to Mama in a Minivan. This is where I take a few moments out of the many hours I spend weekly hanging out in my car as I Uber mom my daughter to her wonderful activities. This is time where I share around brain, body, and biome health, support, and integration. Today we need to zoom into the brain body, truly the mental health, as in Metro Detroit and around the world, we are reeling from the horrific, senseless tragedy that happened at Oxford High School this week. I've talked to so many parents, students, teachers, education professionals, mental health professionals, school counselors about all of the intense emotions that are bubbling forth, all of the fear, and how the students and the professionals and the parents are in fight, flight, and freeze. Now, the best way to move beyond fight, flight, and freeze is to start moving through some gentle movements that help to reintegrate reflexes, developmental movements that get triggered with stress and trauma. I shared a video earlier this week with some really simple tools to help integrate or reintegrate those reflexes to help move beyond the fight, flight, or freeze. Today, I want to talk about some simple support for the emotions that are bubbling up. First of all, it's a roller coaster of emotions that bubble up, from fear, anxiety, shock, rage, disbelief, grief, deep, deep grief and sorrow. All of these emotions are valid, and I encourage and invite you to really allow those emotions to bubble forth. A lot of times we don't know what to do with those emotions. If you refer back to that video, that simple moving meditation, you really will want to explore the cross-body movement, the homolateral or same-sided body movement, ending with cross-body movement. It's within the same-sided movement, the homolateral movement, that the emotions, the intense emotions, will really bubble up. So I refer you to that video so that you can find support for that. I have some really simple tools today that you can use when you're resting, if you can get into a comfortable place of meditation or before bed, because I'm hearing of a lot of people that can't sleep with the images going through their mind, the students with the fear and the anxiety, the teachers, the mental health support professionals, the school counselors are trying to support the students, and yet they have their own fears as well. So I want to share a very simple tool called Neurofacial Processing that I learned in Integrative Manual Therapy School. This is a tool that we give to people to support themselves. So some of the emotions coming forth, like anger and fear, all of these emotions have a place in the body. They have specific organs that they reside. And we want to find ways to let them come forth and feel as though we're being productive in supporting them. Anger is in the liver, for example, and the liver is on the right side at the bottom of the rib cage. It actually stretches across to the middle, crosses a little bit of the midline, and it stretches back around. The liver is a very big organ. You can put your hand on the liver and then connect to the heart with the intention of bringing peace and calm to the heart. You just hold these spots. You may feel a sense of calm come over. You may feel various emotions come forth. Make sure not to judge them, just notice them. You want to hold these spots for at least 15 to 20 minutes. It's great to do when you're lying in bed and can't go to sleep. Another emotion that's really big right now is rage. So many people feel so much anger and rage around what has happened and how this has been allowed to happen again at a place that's supposed to be safe, our children's schools. And so placing your fingers at the frontonasal between the eyebrows, this is where rage can be. Placing that hand there and connecting to the heart is a really great place to go. Again, you want to hold it for 15 to 20 minutes, or you could hold that spot between the eyebrows and go to the liver. And that means you're going to be discharging and releasing and allowing rage and anger to move through you. Now, there's also grief. Lungs represent grief. So if you put a hand on your chest and if you expand it nice and big, you'll feel like you're getting a lot of your lungs. And then also envision touching your heart as well. So sending that peace to the lungs, dealing with the grief. You could hold both spots. Again, holding for 15 to 20 minutes. You could hold for longer as well, but a minimum of 15 to 20 minutes is ideal. Another area that's coming up for people is fear and panic. Now that's going to be at the adrenals. Those are those walnut-shaped organs right above your kidneys, and it can be hard for a lot of people to reach around with their arm. Their shoulder may not permit them to reach around. So you could hold on the front body at the lower rib cage and just envision that you are reaching behind to touch the adrenal kidney complex. Holding that spot, and then again going to the heart and to the lungs. Holding it for 15 to 20 minutes can just help to sort of dial down some of the intensity of those emotions. We're not trying to shove down the emotions. We actually want to acknowledge them, allow ourselves to feel them, and just start to dial them down. And they're going to come back up perhaps the next day and be very intense or more intense. Put those hands in those spots again. You could be seated in a meeting and just hold those spots. You can go to bed and hold those spots. You can be the passenger in a car riding across town and hold those spots. Just very simple, gentle tools to help you. This is a way to acknowledge the emotions and make sure that they start to drain from the body. It's the Neurofacial Processing technique that I learned in integrative manual therapy school. Now, if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below or send me a message. I hope that this starts to help you move through some of this. Again, check out the moving meditation I shared last week with very simple tools to start to move through trauma and to get out of the fight, flight, and freeze. You may also benefit from my free 3-video series, the Inner Resources video series, that has tools including the fear paralysis reflex tapping to help us move beyond fear and move forward. Please feel free to share these tools with anyone that might benefit. I wish you peace and a sense of calm as we try to process this all.